What happened to last year the nightmare? If you're new here, I go by PyrooPlays online, and I've been playing and making content for asymmetric horror games since 2017, with the majority of that content being Dead by Daylight, but I fell in love with the genre thanks to Friday the 13th. Thanks to Friday the 13th, I fell head over heels for asymmetric horror games, playing every asymmetric game I could get my hands on, so that brings me to a little game called Last Year the Nightmare. Now at the time of doing this video, there's very little I can find on this game. The game, since coming out, has filed for bankruptcy, closed our Discord servers, and hasn't posted a public update since October 26, 2020. So my timeline of events isn't super clear, but I'll try my best to give you the most information I can. I'll also be mentioning a few channels I was able to grab screenshots from, as well as linking them down below. If you're not sure what Last Year the Nightmare is, it was a 1v5 asymmetric horror game. The 5 survivors needed to complete tasks. The tasks varied depending on what map you were on, and escape. The killer's job was to just kill everyone. There were gameplay elements that honestly made the game super unique to the asym genre, such as the survivor choosing different classes, and having the ability to kill the killer. Each killer having different abilities, and those set abilities giving them different ways to interact with the environment, as well as being able to fast travel around the map, set up traps, and ambush survivors. So this game was originally backed on Kickstarter. They surpassed their goal by over doubling the original set goal of 50,000 Canadian dollars, racking up a total of $114,711. And the game officially released on December 18th, 2018 on Discord Gaming. And we all know how well that turned out. Regardless, I remember waiting for over an hour trying to download the game on Discord, and I was so unbelievably excited to play the game, and for good reason. When the game first came out, besides the fact that it was a Discord Gaming exclusive, it was a hit. For a second. I feel as if it got a bit stale after a while, but nothing a new map or characters couldn't fix. The original game launched with 3 killers, the Giant, the Strangler, and the Slasher, 3 maps, the Gym, the Bell Tower, and the Library, and 5 survivors. Chad, Nick, Amber, Troy, and Sam. Pretty standard for an asym at launch. But the biggest problem at the start was launching it as a Discord Gaming exclusive. Discord Gaming shut down on October 15th, 2019, just a year later due to no one using the service. Now I don't have the numbers from Discord Gaming on how many players decided to stick around and what they averaged for the year, but if I can guess from Discord Gaming shutting down only a year later, it wasn't a ton. But again, that's all speculation. With Discord Gaming shutting down, Elastic Games, the developers of Last Year the Nightmare, decided that this was a chance for rebranding. So they changed the name from Last Year the Nightmare to Last Year. Last Year officially joined the Steam servers December 9th, 2019, with their first DLC being released a few days later. This DLC included a new killer, the Spider, and a new survivor, Raj. The rebranding also included a new art direction, going from a slasher horror aesthetic to more of a creature sci-fi one. Now, before Last Year was released on Steam, it seems as if the dev team went radio silent only a few months after launching on Discord, only talking to their community a handful of times, once being in the summer due to an AMA, then later on to announce the change of platforms and address any questions and concerns from the community. Now I got all of these screenshots from Paulie Esther's video, so thank you, Paulie, stating, "We admit that we have not been good at handling communications, and in our last AMA, we promised that we would build a new communications team and a Steam relaunch. Now we've built that communications team, hi prom queen, and we're ready." They also addressed some rumors going on at the time and how, quote, "Every time we release an update or post news, even more conspiracies would spawn. It reached a point that it was getting unmanageable and made us less prone to sharing news, because updates were negatively received no matter what we shared, but assuring the community that they were working on the game the whole time." When the game first launched on Steam, rebranded and introducing a new DLC, it did fairly well for a game that was in circulation for over a year by indie developers, with an average of 523 the first month and staying in triple digits until March 2020. I think we all remember March 2020 and how the world got flipped on its head. This was the start of the pandemic and the beginning of the end for Last Year. One of the few posts I can find in regards to what happened in 2020 is thanks to Vonny's video. With a post from the now disabled Discord server, one of the devs posted, quote, "Greetings all, we wanted to give you an update on the situation at Elastic Games, what to expect, and what's the future. Hopefully this will help the community understand a little where we are. To put it bluntly, we unfortunately had to cancel the planned August update. To understand why, I'm going to explain what happened since we went into lockdown as much as I possibly can. I think it's no secret to anyone, but the game's sales were always on the lower side, and were just enough to get us through the next update. We powered through update to update, trying to build a product that would be in a better state to have published. with the proper funding and proper support it needed being a live game-as-a-service product. Signing with a publisher was always the end goal, so we kept updating the game, which meant the team knew and was okay with finances being a bit on the rocky side. Just before COVID hit, we finally started to see the light at the end of the tunnel. An 8-figure publishing deal that would have allowed us to move forward comfortably, bringing the game to console as part of the deal, and supporting it for years to come. The papers were on the table and were ready to be signed. Unfortunately, COVID-19 happened. The publisher, unfortunately, got COVID in their offices and started stalling as their finances were also taking a hit, and they decided to freeze investment internationally. And our finances were at rock bottom, but the team still powered through. A little after this whole ordeal started, we got the unfortunate news: the publisher will not be pursuing. At this point, we were already out of money, but we promised an update, the mine update, so a portion of the team decided to keep powering through, and we shipped the mines to great success. Also stating, what does this mean? It basically means that unless we manage to find a publishing deal, content updates for last year are on an indefinite hiatus. James, the original creator of last year, is still working day and night to score a publishing deal, but there's no one left to work on the game. With that being said, we're not done yet. We still have a final surprise planned for you, the community, who held on and stayed with us the entire time, always believing in the project and the team. Expect this to happen around the Halloween period, but we're confident you'll enjoy this parting gift. We also hope that this final gambit will allow us to score a deal and restart content production. And know that you will be the first to know when this happens. If absolutely nothing comes out of this, we'll address the community, and we'll do a proper farewell. But until then, know that it's not over until it's over. With Elastic Games on its last leg, Elastic gave the community one last gift. On October 26, 2020, Elastic Games released the original version of Last Year the Nightmare on Steam, with a price tag of a whopping $30, in hopes that this could bring back some kind of funding for the game. But unfortunately, with such a substantial price point on a seemingly dying game, it didn't spark much interest. April 27, 2021, Elastic Games held their last AMA on Discord, explaining the publishing deal that fell through and the grim reality of last year's future. After the AMA, what was left of the community faded out, and that was seemingly the end of last year in Elastic Games. So what exactly happened last year? I think a number of things happened that made last year fail from the jump. The first obviously being the fact that it was a Discord Gaming exclusive. They gambled on Discord Gaming taking off, but unfortunately they bet on the wrong horse. Next was a lack of communication. With last year being such a new game, communication needed to be one of their top priorities, and they failed to address rumors and even just keep their player base in the loop. Also, allegedly, Elastic Games was hemorrhaging developers left and right on a pretty consistent basis throughout the game's lifespan. But the nail in the coffin being the lack of funding, having the publishing deal falling through, but that was unfortunately just something that was out of their control. Jumping to current day, the day that I am recording this video, the official Twitter tweeted out, "Did you think the nightmare was over?" and updated the bios to say managed by Undaunted Games dev team, free to play on Steam coming soon. So it seems as if last year got picked up and is now coming back to Steam. A lot is unclear as of right now. And even though it says free to play game on the Steam store page, the game is still currently down, with the official launch hopefully being sometime this month. With all of this being said, I genuinely hope that this game comes back, and I hope Undaunted Games can learn from the mistakes that Elastic Games made in regards to the game and the community. But what do you think? Would you play last year if it came back? If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Also, please check out the channels I mentioned, which will be linked down below. I genuinely couldn't have made this video without their content for reference. I was also able to play a few rounds to put in the background of this video, thanks to some fans of last year, who made a mod for last year called Last Year Resurrected. I'll put their Discord down below if you're interested in playing some rounds for yourself. Now with all of that being said, I'll see you in the next one.